Big Production.
Yo, what is good? What day is it? 18th of July. We're drinking that mud water. We had to throw on the tank real quick because listen, we've made more gains in the gym than in the markets this year, and that's fine. But I had to throw on the tank top to yo, chill out, dude. I didn't wanna come out here guns a-blazing on the YouTubes. So here we go. We got Glxy Digital Holdings, right? Three things that are pointing out to me is we have this massive push into resistance, massive push into resistance, and I'm thinking here we're going to have a massive push into resistance once again. I do love to see the bullish price action though here on Glxy. The only thing that's making me feel a little bit skeptical is leaving some gaps like this behind. And again, I feel like there's a lot of time, there's a lot of time between now and the next halving, and anything could happen. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. I've repeated it a bunch of times, right? There's all the rumors about recession, and then the interest rates rising, and all this food shortage shit. Like, there's so many there's so much bad news out there. Anything could happen within now and the next halving. But what I'm paying attention to is, right, my main strategy is dollar cost average at a rate that you can be completely cool with not losing anything, right? Whatever I invest, I'm fully okay and willing to lose it, right? That's the strategy. Dollar cost average at a rate that you're Gucci. That is the main focus. So with that strategy, it really doesn't matter if the price is at 10, at 14, at 5, or at 2, because in that entire range I'll be buying. So it definitely is nice to see though, eh? We break up above the trend line, some nice, I think it went up as high as like 26% today, which was wild. I seen that. I was like, Jesus, what a nice trade. That could have been a beautiful 3-day trade. But this is something I'm paying attention to. And the reason why I'm so specific on these pumps, we had a nice little 100%, 200%, or sorry, 100%, another 100%, or like 96. And right here in this zone, it leads us to another around 100%. Leads us right into resistance. We're in a bear market. So all this, we might get real euphoric over this next maybe 1 week, 2 weeks while we see the price pump. But you got to keep in mind that the bears are in control. So it's definitely interesting. I love these charts. Glxy is the baby boy, so we'll always have a close watch on it, but you gotta be skeptical and be open-minded to the negative and the positive here. So the positive being this green mark. So the green mark is that we pump right up into the resistance, but then we slowly create higher lows into that resistance. And eventually, hopefully around November, we get that break up above. And I think that would be great, especially for people who were investing down here. But what I think is more likely going to happen is this white line where we get that pump and then we fizzle back down, because right now, I just don't see there being that conviction like there was back in 2020 behind Bitcoin and all that new money coming in. So until we see new money flowing into Bitcoin and Glxy, of course, I think that's probably the likely scenario where we come back to levels that we were at back in 2020. So just a quick slide out, right? We'll go to HUT. The Canadian miner, and look, right, they come right back to levels that were pretty much the beginning of what they were at in 2020 there. So this is at the end of 2020, but even still, you go back to July, you go back to April, May, the levels of the stock the price is there now. So that's something I think is worth paying attention to. HUT is a miner. I do think Glxy is a more they're a better company in terms of mining. They hold more Bitcoin. They also do other stuff in the crypto space with Ethereum. I don't know what went on with the Luna shit. Let's hope that nothing drastic happened with that, but I do think they're probably in better shape than Hut 8 mining company. So I think that's something to keep in mind, like comparing Glxy to other miners. But this wouldn't surprise me. One, two, somewhat of a third top here, minor top, before we get that long base and we fizzle out, and then we get that ramp right back up eventually, hopefully in sometime next year, maybe 2024, who knows. But that's the look here, right? I just want to keep in mind, right, like the stock went up massive, like insanely. It went up insane. Like, from, if we're going from the bottom of March 2020, it went up thousands of percent. If we're going from September 2020 lows, it went up almost 2,000%. So it definitely might need more time to fizzle down. And this is only good for long-term holders, right? People, it comes back to this price. We flush out all the non-believers, and the ones who have conviction, they get granted the opportunity to get more shares at a cheaper price for that possibility of the one day coming right back up to this level. So if the mean price here is, let's say, $24, and we're scooping it from down here, that's a few 100% trade. Like, you can get a massive return in that. But what I do think will happen is, just to quickly go over a long-term thesis, is, right, we get this first wave, right, big push, second wave brings us right back down to these levels. It might bring us down as much as 95%. And then we'll get a nice second wave that would bring us somewhere up to this range, right? Maybe above $100. Who knows? I don't see why it possibly can't. Do I think it'll happen now? Maybe not now, but I'm thinking May 2024, somewhere around there, maybe, where we might get that huge run. So the ones who are investing during this time period, and if you really think of it, it's not that long of a time. So what we do during like this next few periods of few months of consolidation could be huge. Come on, where is it? Let me find the right tool. I won't be able to find, date range, nice. So let's say from here, right, up until whatever, it's 2024. That's 4 years, say, something around the lines of that, 4 years of price action. If we bottom out in this range right around here, it is going to be, like, if you really think about it, 177 days out of that 4 years, that's going to give you the largest return on investment. So it's pretty important what happens and what we do in this next period of time here, where we are below a nice average, right? Like, anything under 10, anything under 15, actually anything under 20 is a mint trade, in my opinion, because I do believe we will eventually hit $100 a share here. Again, this is just, it's just my overall thesis. It's just a thought. It's not like I know this is going to happen, so you can't take it as financial advice, right? But that's the way I think of it, right? Like, this small period of time, believe it or not, is going to be the most beneficial for those who are like really believers, and the ones who like play wisely during this period of time are going to reap the crazy rewards. But again, that's why I was going on about the dollar cost averaging and why I think it's a mint idea. But that's the breakdown here. Just to clarify things one last time, anything under 20, that's what I'm paying attention to. So we'll say right here and under, and we'll mark that with like a purple or some shit. Anything under here is worth grabbing, in my opinion, if we do see one day see the price go up to 100 something. It'd be a 500% trade, simply from getting it from 20 and up. Now, getting it from the levels we're at now, let's say 630, it's way larger of a trade, right? So it does matter what we do now. Like, it really does matter if we get up to that $100 mark. Crazy opportunity is on the way. Peace, guys.